When you have intentions and goals and it's clear for you to see, and it reminds you every day of why you're doing it, why you wanted to do it. Hey y'all, it's Janae the Bay, and I'm back again with another video. So this video, if you can't already tell by the title, is how to glow up mentally. And I have about 4 tips that you can take to help yourself glow up mentally. And these are just tips that I've done recently, and I noticed that there was a lot of love given on my last video where I did like a get ready glow up with me, or glow up whatever. And that was kind of like physically and mentally, but this is more like on the mental side and giving y'all more like concrete tips on how you can do it. But before we get into it, if you're new here, my name's Janae Booski, Janae the Bay, whatever you want to call me, if it's one of those. And on my channel, I like to do everything that's what a big sister would do, the big sister I wish I had. And we talk about everything from financial stability, making money, how to, get your body snatched, eat right, how to learn more stuff. And today, that's what we're doing. So if you like what you see, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the tribe because it's really fun over here. I'm not joking, it's really fun. But yes, let's get into the tips. So the first tip that I have is to figure out what you like to do and then deepen that skill. And so like when you do this, you're actually like adding intellectual property to your own self. You're adding more value to yourself as a human, and everybody likes to be a high value woman, high value man. Like, so when you take a skill and you deepen that knowledge, it makes you more of a irreplaceable person on this earth. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but when you have a skill that nobody else has, when you have skills meshed together that nobody else has meshed together, nobody has the cocktail of nobody has the cocktail of skills and experiences and desires that you have. And so you might as well make sure that it's really deep. And nobody wants like a watered down drink. I feel like when you only know skills a little bit, it's like a watered down drink. But like the more skills you learn, the more intellectual property you learn, add to yourself, the more wisdom, experience, and knowledge that you have, the more tastier your drink is. And people want to taste you. They want a sip of that. And so it's like a meal. Like the more time you take with that meal, the better it's going to taste. And that's just like a skill. The more time you spend in that skill, the better you'll be at that skill. And that's just something you can show off. So for me, some of the skills that I like to deepen is just, in general, I like to read books. But for me, I like to play instruments. And another thing that I like to do, like, I'll play the guitar, I play the viola. I don't have my piano here, but whenever I'm around a piano, I really love to play piano because that is the most beautiful instrument I've ever seen. But in the meantime, guitar is like a very versatile instrument. I want to be good enough where I can just bring it to like any fire, like hanging out by the fire and just play some guitar songs, some fireside chat music or whatever. And yeah, that's number 1. And so this next tip to glow up mentally is to stop making excuses, because I feel like every time somebody like will come to me, a lot of people feel like they can open up to me, and I know that's fine. Like I love when people open up to me, but me, I'm automatically looking for a solution. And a lot of the solutions is that people need to stop like saying, oh, I don't have enough time. Like, you just don't prioritize it right. Like, and a lot of the times I know people close enough to know that there's some things that they can give up in order to have a better life or to do the things that they want. And a lot of the times they make their own excuses in their head, and I can't tell them like, why don't you just stop going out so much? Like, why don't you stop spending so much money on PlayStation? Or why don't you stop traveling all over the world? Like, you don't need that much gas. Or I don't know, stuff like that. Like, me and Beyonce and you have the same amount of hours in the day. Jay-Z, whoever you want to put in there in that spectrum, we all have the same amount of time in the day. And how much we get done in that day is totally up to us. And how much time we give ourselves to do something is totally up to us. And it comes down to our priorities. And one thing I encourage you to do is try this thing called habit tracking. It's kind of hard to do, but it's really annoying to me having to write down what you do right after you do it, because sometimes I forget. But just having a notebook handy helps me to realize like what habits that I am doing that lead to more destructive habits, and what habits do I want to change. And when I see it written down, it's easier for me to create systems that change those habits. So tip number 2 is stop making excuses. If you really want something, go out there and get it. Like, the only person who can get it for you is you. Nobody's going to hand it to you unless you're very, very lucky, and it'll probably only happen once in your lifetime. So go out and get it. All right, this next tip for how to glow up mentally is to be realistic about your current situation. Like, what I mean is, we'll do dieting as an example. Like, if you are on a poor diet and you want to lose 50 pounds, in order to get there, you're going to have to change the way you eat. No matter how much exercising you do, you're going to have to change the way you eat. And so in order for your weight loss to be sustainable, you're going to want to have a sustainable food plan. And that starts with making small changes over time. You can't just change everything at once, all at the same time, because it's very low probability that you'll stick with it. And so for me, like when I started to change into eating well, I started with making sure that I ate a healthier breakfast. And I made sure every day of the week that one meal was at least healthy. And once you get the hang of that and you start to get into the routine of buying those groceries that create that meal, you want to add lunch onto that. So you want to make sure your breakfast and your lunch are healthy. And then as you keep going, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will become more healthy. And then you can do like a cheat meal on weekends. So I'm still working my way up there. I'm working on all 3 meals being healthy and keeping groceries in stock that will be healthy. But be realistic about where you are and be ready to create a plan about how to get to where you want to be. And this leads me into my last and final tip, 4th tip. The 4th tip is to start putting your thoughts onto paper and start writing things down. Start writing your goals down, start writing your plans down, start writing your affirmations down, your intentions down, your thoughts down, anything you can think of. Because when you have all these thoughts jumbling around in your brains, and having the focus to write it down organizes that knowledge into more, you can just take that. When it's organized on a page there before you, you're able to organize it in the way that you want it to and create more, once you have it all out on the page, you can see where you can make details that'll help you. So for example, I recently did, my last video was like my 2020 review and my 2021 vision board, making like what I'm taking into the year. And before I even do my review, like I meditated and I just like word vomited all over my journal. Like maybe did like 4 times over 2 days in like 3 different journals. My manifesting journal, my thankful journal, and just like my random journal and my notes taking journal. It was like really random. I would just have random spurts of thought and being like, oh wow, that was like an epiphany. This is what I learned about myself this year. And if I didn't write it down in the first place, it wouldn't have opened up space in my mind for me to develop more thoughts and for my intuition to bring more thoughts to my awareness and feelings to my awareness. So I really encourage you to write down your goal and your plan, and especially write down your plan, because when you make a plan, one of my intentions for 2021 is to follow through my plan to the end, no matter what. And in order to follow a plan through, you have to have a plan in the first place. And when you write it down, it's more concrete. And you, instead of relying on your mind to tell you what the plan is, you have a visual cue. Like for me, I have whiteboards where I write plans and I write my intentions and I write it in my notebooks, and I go back and I look for the week, I look for the month, and I look for the year of what my intentions were. And it helps me to stay motivated to wake up every day, get cute, film a video, edit that video, be social, pick up an instrument, pick up a book. All like when you have intentions and goals and it's clear for you to see, and that's why I encourage you to do like a vision board, because it reminds you every day of why you're doing it, why you wanted to do it. And that's like, writing stuff down has really changed me and my goal making planning process over the last year, because I realized the true power in it. And once you start to write it out, you start to speak it. And once you speak it, it becomes reality. And before you know it, all your dreams that you wrote down on paper are coming true. And so guys, thank you. That is all I have for now. If you made it this far, I love you. Shout out to Marquise who commented on my video last time. You're the best. If you're watching this, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you made it this far, for your chance at a weekly shout out or video shout out, comment the word Teletubby. Like, that was so random, but I just like to see if people do it. Anyways guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Thank you for spending your time, your precious time on my channel and my little nook of the YouTube universe. And I hope the rest of your day, your night, your evening, whatever, is beautiful. Peace out. See y'all next time.
Amir, are you sharing the toy?